Podouken. All right, well, we're going to move on to our listener questions. If you're joining us on YouTube, you'll probably see a little change of scenery.
Yeah.
Not the traditional arcade setup you would come to expect, but we had to record on a different day. Arcade was not available. It's very much in use, and we needed a more quiet environment, so Jared was nice enough to let us crash at his copy shop here.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Jared.
No buskers tonight.
No buskers, no violin playing, thankfully. They're taking Black Friday off.
Yeah.
So first question for this episode. This is from Raymond the Frog on Discord, and he asks, what are your all-time favorite buttons and joysticks in arcade history? It's a little hardware question.
Yeah, so this comes down to really like the game you're playing, right? So like certain games feel weird on certain sticks. So like the easiest example that comes to me is Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, right? If you play Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man on a real original cab, they have like a rubber grommet in the center of the joystick, and they feel like a little bit squishy, but like that's not the right word. Like there's a little more like give and like play to it. So if you've grown up playing Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man on one of those, and then you go back and you try to play it on like a Sanwa JLF, you can play it, but it feels weird.
Yeah.
And like another example is like Donkey Kong. You play Donkey Kong on Nintendo joysticks. They're short throw, they're clunky, but in like a smooth way, if that makes sense. So then you try the same thing on like a Pac-Man stick or a JLF, and it feels wrong. Again, you can play it, it just doesn't feel that right way. And then you get into analog sticks, you get into, Monkey Ball. There's all these wonderful control schemes. But for me, I think the Sanwa JLF is kind of the Toyota Corolla of the joystick world. They will always work. You can use them for pretty much anything you want to. For me, fighting games, I prefer Sanwa sticks just because they're tanks. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things that you can customize with actuators and springs and blah, blah, blah. But a stock JLF, I do like a little bit heavier of a spring just because I kind of have caveman hands and I'm very heavy-handed on joysticks. Sanwa for fighting games, for shooters, like STGs, bullet hells. Saimitsu LS56 is probably my favorite stick.
Yeah.
Just because it has just the right amount of like dead zone and throw to get you the direction that you want. As far as buttons I'm a little more lenient with. It did take me a while growing up playing Street Fighter 2 on like dynamo cabinets. You could put a drink on top of a hat button and it's not going to actuate.
Yeah.
Like you could literally like just kind of lean on it like this and it's not going to go off. You really had to hit them. A Sanwa, if you blink too hard, it's going to actuate. So like it took me a while to get used to not keeping my hands on the buttons.
Yeah, if a butterfly flaps its wings in Africa, eventually
you're going to get media
the
bugs.
Sanwa will, yeah, it'll go down.
It took me a long time to get used to that. I'm not sure if it was the same for you guys. I know you play, newer Street Fighters too.
I just negative edge it. That way I don't have to worry about it.
It just took me a while to kind of like make my hand hover versus kind of like leaning and like leaving it on the stick.
Leaving it laying on them. Yep.
But with that kind of stuff, I don't feel a huge difference personally in like the OBSF buttons versus like the Saimitsu button, like the KN14s or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they sound different for sure. I cannot get behind silent buttons. It feels like you're tapping Tupperware. Like the sound is part of that experience for me. Can't do it. So normally I'd stick Saimitsu with Saimitsu, Sanwa with Sanwa, but buttons really don't make a huge difference to me. But that's just my kind of take on it. So really I would say, play around with stuff. That's the beauty of this stuff. There's so many mods now, and they've brought back a lot of like retired stuff too. Like the LS32s are still going. Mm-hmm. They brought like 40th anniversary versions. The LS56, they made an LS62, which is like, it's a little too extreme in my opinion. Like the throw is like this much. Like you can like move like this much and you get all your directions, which is cool for about 10 minutes.
Like doing a little 360.
Dude, it's the shortest throw, and like the stick is short. It's weird. It actually might be good for like grapplers. Now you think, because like you can do like a
music. Yeah.
So I'm probably not as picky. I do like kind of like you were saying, specific sticks for specific genres or games. I did find it interesting, like growing up, you get used to some of the, certain cabs having certain feel. It is interesting when you play on like a newly rebuilt with like new parts, kind of like you were saying, and you're like, well, this doesn't really feel exactly like I remember this Nintendo stick, but a lot of stuff we played on too was probably pretty worn.
Oh yeah,
So
that's definitely part of
But
it.
Nintendo sticks feel worn no matter what. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
they're very clanky.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
even
very
thinking like
clunky.
grommets on like some
Sure.
of the Williams
Yeah.
stuff or Pac-Mans and things like that. So,
Certain games like Robotron,
yeah.
you
Robot
feel
Ron.
Robot Ron, you feel way worse. Like you have to have good sticks.
Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting stuff, like you said, though, coming out. What was the like limited edition that had like the like taller? It wasn't a ball top.
Oh, the bullet
that-
tops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a stick called a Seimitsu. I think it's just called a Seimitsu bullet stick,
Yeah.
and it doesn't rotate. So like this, like on a most joysticks, most newer joysticks, like you could take the ball and just like spin it, and the whole shaft will kind of like rotate in the stick, and it's to allow you to like rotate. The Nobi bullet doesn't rotate at all. So like a lot of Tekken players prefer like crown sticks, or K levers, or these Nobi bullets, the Seimitsu bullet sticks for that like extra kind of like control of it. It's weird because like I've noticed that when I play games, I kind of do like it to move a little bit. It's really good on shooters. Like you don't feel it as much.
That's where I played.
But when you're throwing fireballs as Ryu, you're like, oh, like my hands don't want
Right,
like
you can't
I need to
twist
put
it.
lotion on my hands real quick.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like counterintuitive.
Wear one of the gloves for
Yeah.
like the rhythm games.
Just Michael Jackson
slide,
it and shoot into them one glove.
Yeah. So there's some stuff that surprises me like that, like playing a shooter on that. I was like, oh yeah, I could actually get into
Yeah.
this, which I didn't think would be the case.
Right.
But yeah.
I'm a simple man when it comes to my controls. Just give me a good old Wico leaf button joystick and something like a Joust leaf button. I think that one always stands out to me from a button standpoint, just because Joust, that's the whole thing, right? You're hitting the flat button to keep the bird aloft, and to me, when I play something that isn't one of the original buttons, it's the biggest
sure.
glaring thing, right? Because if you put a micro switch in there,
It's instant.
well,
It's-
one
it
is
moves
that
this much.
one is that that button has a big spring behind it, and so you got the leaf spring that's hitting, and it's got a big spring, and that's great because it's rebounding every time you hit it.
Yeah.
As opposed to a micro switch, and you have to wait for it to come up, so it actually affects your gameplay for like Joust. But yeah, I mean, talking about Konami, 4-player beat 'em ups and everything. Well, the Wico sticks that they use in TMNT and that they use in X-Men and stuff like that, those to me just feel so good. The ball tops, and when you have them there, they're hard to find, some of the Wicos now, so you have to go to like the micro switch stuff. It's just not the same. I mean, the look is the same, and the feel, as far as when you just have your hand on it, is, but whenever you're using it, click, 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 it just doesn't fit anymore. Because obviously with the leaf switches, you're not getting that same sound, that same feel through them. So that's my answer. Like I said, I'm simple.
Yeah, and then you get into weird stuff too, like with early Naomi games, they had like analog sticks. And there's a lot of like sports games that use analog sticks. Monkey Ball is, full analog rig where your joystick is a literal banana that you kind of move around. And there's so many cool things out there. And then you get into, racing games and force feedback and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's really, that's a really tough question to answer. It really just depends on the game that you're playing, I think.
I threw out everything. I meant Bass Pro Fishing.
Bass fishing is pretty rad. It's a really cool controller. They are a monster to keep running.
They are definitely that.
They are
And it's
fun.
really hard to throw the fireball.
It is. Well, not as much as you think. You can actually just do like a little 360 on the thumb.
You just
stick
need
and-
Popeye's forearms to like.
I think a 360 if you just use the reel.
Oh, okay.
I'm starting to think about
We
this
could
now.
probably. I
redo-
could probably wire this thing up
Ooh,
to make
we
it
hit
work,
like hitboxes where it's all buttons. I wonder if you could just
dude. The best
we
thing
wire
could
out
do
ever.
a good April 1st
The best thing
tournament
ever. Yeah.
situation.
I watched a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament,
Mhm.
and Tong, who runs Tampa Never Sleeps, beat a dude with a U-Draw tablet, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking it through now.
We
Maybe
could
this
make
will
it
work.
We could do. I have 2 panels.
Yeah.
We could do dual bass fishing fighting game tournament, where like your punch is like the reel.
Yeah, just map them to all the different
Yeah.
inputs for this. Ooh.
We could do it.
Mm.
That would be very stupid but
Would
fun
we
to
do a
watch.
Street Fighter, or would we like throw a Melty Blood or something like?
I mean, you could really do.
We have
any
those
of
in the
them.
arcade now.
We
so.
do have a Melty Blood setup.
Yeah.
Not in the bathroom.
All right, so I think this is going to be a twofer for Raymond the Frog,
Okay.
because the other question today is also one from him. That is, since we are talking about beat 'em ups and brawlers and all, if Podouken got its own brawler, what would be your individual character abilities? So we're talking about
Ooh.
a Podouken beat 'em up where we're each characters in said beat 'em up. So I think I'm definitely gonna be the grappler
Yeah, that makes sense.
power type, I think.
I don't know.
I think you would be more of the balance, and you would be more of the speed.
speed.
Because we just got to
Okay.
talking
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
like, right? It's you're more of the speed, agile
Yeah.
thing. So I think if we were going to talk about 3-player stuff, it'd be Cody, Guy, Hagar.
Okay.
But
is that-
from an archetype standpoint,
What's their power though?
right? But now you got to come up with like what's
Yeah.
your kind of special stuff.
Ooh.
I want
don't
the
know.
unlimited ammo handgun.
Okay,
My
All right.
favorite thing in beat 'em ups ever is like juggling. So I want mine to be like the ability if I do like a knock up, I want to be able to juggle people. That would be
Okay.
my power. I love that. It's my favorite
You want to
thing ever.
You want to parlay into an infinite, like
Yes.
an old KI.
Not a
in the
hyper combo,
corner.
but like Shredder's Revenge does it perfectly.
Yeah.
Where like you can just juggle people forever. I love that.
So you'd want like kind of like the Wolverine uppercut, the low ground uppercut, but then
Launch.
you'd want kind of the kick at an upper angle type thing to keep them.
Yeah, like
Because you
Lynn,
could easily follow up with that, right?
like Lynn and
yeah,
AVP,
yeah.
just with my body on top of like,
and then you'd
like
probably need a dive
superimposed.
kick in that mix because you
Oh,
got to get
dude.
down to the ground to hit them again to juggle, and then
Dive
up
kicks
again.
are the best thing that ever happened to beat 'em ups and the worst thing that ever happened to fighting games. Quote me on that.
I don't think I jump. I think my character is always on the ground.
Well, your jump would be the
Yeah, I just do the
yeah.
the stomach crunch thing. Who was it that had the butt crunch? We were talking about something like that
Butt
a
crunch.
couple episodes ago where they just flung their butt.
Oh, he's throwing ass. Oh, who was that?
I don't remember.
I forget who it was.
I definitely think it'd be maybe the special moves like a big bear hug.
That's like your back kick. You just
Well,
throw
I mean,
your
I'm
ass.
thinking like just a big like grapple bear hug, right? And be like, hey, we can talk this out. It's all right.
And if they don't want to talk it out, you do the Hagar spin, like where
Yeah.
Pal drives
Well,
the shark.
no, that feet leave the ground. So I think that
Oh.
then it's just I
Gotcha,
don't know.
gotcha.
That's like maybe I just throw them up and let them fall.
That would do enough damage, I think.
If you get them high enough, I mean,
Yeah.
gravity's going to take care of the rest.
Absolutely.
That would have the added benefit of also coming down on other enemies.
I think Jared's power would be much like the Cenobites in the Hellraiser franchise, like the one dude threw CDs, you throw paper.
Oh, I thought you were be like, here, solve this puzzle.
No,
That's just,
we had like paper because you're always using papers
Yeah.
on the podcast.
no, that's true. Yeah, like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
they can be
fast
bad.
man.
fling.
That is still one of the hard in all of Jackass. In all of it,
Oh, I don't.
they got like the Manila
Yep.
folders. That's one of the hardest things to watch because of the sound.
Yeah.
Oh,
sound
the
and where don't they? It's like in between
they do it here on the lips. They do it in their fingers and their toes.
Yeah.
On the webs, like the
the
mid,
web.
like the,
Yeah,
the middle.
that's what I remember the most. Oh,
It's awful.
Bonus points on this one.
Okay,
If it was a 4-player, who would be the 4th player?
it's got to be Soundboy, right? And he has to be like a drone, kind of like in Gears of War, the little robot follows you around.
yeah.
But we'd have to put like really shitty, like unbalanced wheels on it, so it's like, as it like follows
Would he
you
just
around.
make the Mario bees sound the whole
Oh,
time?
God, that thing's terrible. I'm
And
so
Muzzy.
glad that
a
that
mix
is.
between Muzzy and Mario bees.
Well, yeah. Anytime that you asked him to do something, he would play a random like, or
Just a random.
like demon bees.
All of a sudden,
Or
the
it
MIDI version of a Journey song starts.
Or you think a gunshot went off, but it was just capacitors
Just a
exploding.
but it keeps going like nothing.
It didn't
nothing
need that one.
changed.
I forgot about the exploding capacitor.
Oh man, old tech is the best tech.
Why is it still working, Jared? It's like, I don't need you. Capacitor. Like, what the hell is that thing's cursed or haunted?
Yeah.
All right, so tell us. We probably botched this last question tremendously. So, what do you guys think our
Yeah.
movesets would be?
I think that's a better thing because it's hard, like it's hard making your own. I think it'd be better if the listeners told us what.
Because I'm
our
thinking through the
powers would be.
Podouken lens, it's like, okay, at one point in the game, getting close to the level boss, and I just sit down in the corner, open up my laptop, and edit for 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's definitely in fitting with the Podouken stuff, but it's probably not going to make a really
See,
interesting
like,
game.
my power would be like we would like be walking towards the end of the level, and then I would just take us somewhere else.
Right? It's just all.
Yeah.
Hey,
We did-
hey, look at this room over here.
Yeah. Do you see that shiny thing?
Well, the first thing opens on a plot, and we have a mission, and it shows like the city landscape, and it's like, here, go to the slums, and it's just like us going off map.
Yeah.
Like us going on some random tangent way over here.
We're going to Crystal Burger over there in the corner.
So yeah, we'd go way off the rails right away. If it was
We'll
a subway
get there
car, it would
eventually,
derail.
but, yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to hear your what your thoughts are for that. What our moves would be. Any specials, any combo stuff, any type of archetype characters that you think we would have for that on our Discord. And of course, if you have any questions you'd like to ask, feel free to hop on our Discord and post those in the episode questions, and you may be included in a future episode as long as Raymond the Frog doesn't hog all the rest of them.
Thank you for asking questions, by the way. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great questions. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap us up for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, where can I find you? And you can actually say here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All the time. No, we get a few days off for the holidays, so that's nice. We'll be ramping back up.
And we made you come into work,
Yep,
buddy.
made you come into work and record a podcast.
Sorry about that. We were. It's mostly my fault. I didn't have any time to do research before. 'Cause we were at Free Play.
Well,
Florida.
we didn't either. I mean, we brought games to Free Play Florida. That was a Friday through Sunday, really Monday,
Thursday
experience.
for me. Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't leave us a lot of time to do the research stuff. So it backed us up a little bit, but that's okay. We have contingency plans upon contingency plans.
Exactly. No, and it's okay. I mean, anybody that works retail, it's like, it's not so bad going in before or after closing time to do,
Right.
You can. In
Surprised
this
there
case,
wasn't
not even
people
do
at the
stuff,
door
but
when we got here trying
it's
to
like,
mail stuff.
It's like that's when you get the most done anyways. So even if I had to come in and work on stuff, it's all right. So, yeah.
All right, Adam, where can I find you?
Maybe on Twitch. I haven't streamed in a while, but hopefully next week we'll be going back to Wednesday night streams, and we will be doing some of these beat 'em ups, the 2-player versions, of course. I want everybody to experience the full game and all of its Japanese weirdness. But yeah, twitch.tv/PassBlaster, and also I've been trying to upload more of this stuff to our Podouken YouTube channel. We are gonna. I put some ideas out on the Discord of stuff that you guys wanted to see video-wise. That would be not just the questions kind of being, that you've already heard in video form. So do you guys have ideas that you want us to do? Maybe I think I suggested top 3 lists of just quick, stuff
and
that
no,
we can do.
leg modeling is not something we're going to do.
No,
so stop asking.
It's too cold for that now. It's Florida.
Under 50 now,
Yeah.
so this is pants weather.
Under 50, no tattoos for you guys.
Yeah, still flip-flops, but pants weather.
Yeah. No. I'm not on board for that. It's my toes do not do well in the cold. It's awful. But anyways, if you guys have,
it's also Florida, so you do get those year-round shorts, people. You get that as long as you have a cigarette to keep you warm.
Yeah, I've only got one pair of things that go below my waist in my dresser, and that's all shorts. So
yeah, no, I know that it's Florida and people up north you pansies or whatever, but no, I don't care. It's cold.
Hey, we get 3 weeks out of every year to actually wear jackets.
I got a new hoodie.
Yeah,
and I get
a nice
to wear
one, nice Mothra one.
I get to wear it.
So yeah, that'll wrap us up for this episode. Feel free to check us out on all of our Podouken stuff. We're there on Blue Sky. We're still there on X. We have, of course, our Discord and our website at podouken.com. So feel free to hop on there and check out any of our other media. Of course, always appreciate everybody listening to the episodes. And as a reminder, if you ever think, hey, did we ever cover a certain game? Hop on the website, go to the games list, and you'll be able to see all of our 300 or 400 games that we've talked about at this point.
Wild.
With a link directly to the episode in which we talked about it. But yeah, this will wrap it up for Crime Fighters series. This will wrap it up for the Crime Fighters duo in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And join us next time where we're going to talk about a titular character that really likes running around with no underwear.
Jared, is that you?
We'll have to wait and find out.
See y'all next time.
See ya.
Later.